Discovery.
Hello and welcome to Cutting to the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben, and this week I'm hanging out with Gaz.
Hello.
And Mike.
Hello.
Today we talk about the Jersey care home scandal. That's a really lame title for what this actually involves. So
Brace yourselves.
brace yourselves, consider that a trigger warning.
This might not be suitable for younger listeners.
No.
Or any listeners.
Oh man. It's going to be dark, people. It's going to be dark, that's all I'm going to say. Before that, let's thank some new returning listeners and remind you that should you want to continue listening after you've heard this, you can follow us on Facebook at Cutting to the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse, YouTube at Apocalypse Bull, SoundCloud, Spotify, and all of the podcasting platforms, Cutting to the Bull in the PTA. So where shall I start on this massive list? How do I say that one in Saudi Arabia?
Riyadh, I think.
Riyadh. We'll go with that. Lahore, is that Pakistan?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. We're global.
Mm-hmm.
Arla Rixtel in Holland, Frankfurt am Main in Germany, Whitstable in the UK, Agadir in where's that, Mike? Morocco?
Morocco.
Dear.
it didn't go through my mind. Boardman in the US, Erlangen-Birkendorf in Germany, District Heights in the US, Berlin, Germany, Burbank in the US, Ashburn in the US, Guadalajara in Spain, and top is Columbus in the US, who smashed it.
Yeah, they love us. District Heights. That sounds like that's from an action movie, isn't it?
It has been taken over by terrorists on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. He was just a lone cop from District Heights.
Right,
Well,
so
here we go.
let's get into it. We decided, listener, to give you, because there's a bit of a cover-up in this tale,
Allegedly.
an
Possibly.
alleged cover-up, we're going to read you how this story was reported in 2008 when it broke. And then we have another article reporting it in 2017 after there's been investigations and such.
Yeah.
And you'll notice the difference in the language that's used.
Certainly.
A shock. So this is from the News of the World, which wasn't exactly the most reputable paper on the planet in all fairness. And this is certainly a News of the World story.
And all the telephone scandals, isn't there?
It was like one step higher than the Daily Star, wasn't it? Like, it's not quite Daily Star and the Sun.
Sister paper of the Sun.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, you'd like to think it was
Yeah.
a little bit better than...
Because it was a Sunday paper, a bit more
Yeah.
highbrow than the usual trash.
But it was still tits on page 3. Like,
It's basically the Sunday version of the Sun,
Yeah.
wasn't it? I just say now, listener.
Piers Morgan's old
Piers Morgan.
paper, isn't it?
If you do get any background noise, listener, we have got to have the window open because it is roasting today.
Oh, yes.
So
It's 22.
if we close the window, we're all going to. This is going to be a sauna and not Mike's front
And we're
room.
British and we're not used to that
Yeah.
sort of heat.
No. So if you do get any background noise, we'll apologise for it now because I can hear some dickhead on a motorbike. So the News of the World reported this in 2008. A shock secret police report into the Jersey House of Hell children's home reveals youngsters there were murdered, then burned in a furnace to cover up the atrocities.
We should just say as well, sorry. Yes, you heard that correctly, listener. But when we say Jersey, we mean the island of Jersey, just off the coast of England, not
Yep.
New Jersey in
New
America.
Jersey.
This is like an island. It's classed as Britain, isn't it? But it's closer to France.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one,
It's
Jersey,
a
because
strange place.
they don't get elected officials.
It's owned by the Queen, isn't it?
It's owned by the Queen.
Yeah.
They don't get elected officials. They have senators who are kind of just the old boys, the old
It's like a
families.
tax haven. There's
a
lots of
tax
rich
haven.
people. It's very weird. It's all the street names are in French. People have French surnames, but everybody talks like that.
So you've got
It's really weird. They talk like they're from the south of England, but their names like Le Cheminot.
I was gonna say, so you got like Pierre Robespierre,
Literally, my
and
friend.
then there's like, oh
Yeah.
right, how's he fucking going?
Yeah, my friend who I know there, she's a singer, I met her at Glastonbury. Her name's Hannah Le Cheminon.
Wow.
But you say, hello, Hannah. All right. But yeah, so that's the Jersey roundabout, which makes the story weirder because it's a little island, it's isolated, and it's full of rich people.
Now, it's feared Ireland authorities may try to hush up the dossier on the Howdy Le Guerin orphanage. I've struggled with that name all week,
Is
guys.
it Hort de la... Oh, fuck.
Howdy Le Guerin? I don't know.
That place. The orphanage.
The orphanage. A source told us officers on this case are in no doubt in capitals what went on. Innocent children were raped, murdered, and their bodies then burnt in a furnace at the Jersey House of Horrors, says a top-secret police report into the scandal. A News of the World investigation reveals cops have shocking new evidence of how the killings were covered up at the orphanage. Our chilling revelations come as officers prepare to hand over their damning dossier from Britain's biggest ever child abuse probe to the island states of Jersey authorities. Oh dear.
Here we go.
Yeah, do you remember when this broke?
Vaguely.
Vaguely. Vaguely. A total of 65 teeth and around 100 charred fragments of bones are all that remain of victims detectives believe were abused and killed before their tortured corpses were thrown into a fiery grave inside the House of Hell.
And we also don't know if they're dead or alive when chucked into the fire, do we?
That's another thing, isn't it? You're like, oh, it just adds another layer of horror to the whole thing.
It comes to something when you thought is like, oh, please say they were dead.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Please tell me those kids were dead.
Because there was an old furnace in the office, wasn't there? And it got changed out and they had a new heating system. And whoever emptied the bottom of the furnace, buried it in the soil, raked it over, and then put some floor on top of it.
Right.
So that's...
They knew what they...
Yeah, that's a cover-up, isn't it? I mean, if you
It's a literal cover-up.
I mean, if you're doing the work and you find bones in the bottom of a furnace, the first thing you're going to do is call the police, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Unless you're trying to cover
Unless you're
up,
trying to,
surely.
you're like, shit, the heating system goes in Monday, Barry, get down, clean that fucking furnace out.
Didn't we hear some story about, like, it was like a Catholic place, and like...
This is the Catholic place.
This is the same story.
No, there's another
There's another
There's
one.
another one.
There
There's
was
a lot
somewhere
of...
in Ireland, wasn't there?
Oh,
loads
right.
of babies,
That was the-
dead babies.
Where they sent all the pregnant single girls.
Yeah, and they killed their babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the House of Mary, something like that.
That was in the name of God. This, I don't know what the fuck this was in the name of, though. So...
Can't trust these religious folks, Gaz.
No, Hope de la Guerin wasn't the only place. There was other orphanages. This was the main one, like, yeah.
Crazy.
But records of children who stayed at the home over past decades have been destroyed, so police have an impossible task of putting names to their grim finds. A source close to the 4-month investigation told us, quote, "There's no doubt in the minds of the detectives on this case that children were murdered in the home. Officers believe they have compelling evidence that the youngsters' bodies were burnt in the home's furnace and the remains swept into the soil floor in the cellars, the area that became dubbed the torture rooms."
Fuck me.
The problem has been identifying the children that went missing over the years. No records were kept of who came and left that place. Kids were shipped to their home from all over the UK and were never heard of again.
That's what I was going to ask, because I was a bit I was going to ask, where were all these kids? Because I don't know if Jersey's changed that much since then, but it's like, it's literally a tax haven. It's where rich people go, like, to build mansions with swimming pools. So I was thinking, where are all these homeless kids coming from? But they're being shipped from all over. So you could be from fucking Birmingham or like, you know, Newcastle, and you find yourself on some creepy fucking island in the torture rooms. No fucking way of communicating to anybody.
You get no one to communicate to.
Oh, yeah, you're an orphan.
You know, it's...
I
And then,
know it's awful,
but think
isn't
that when they first tell you, yeah, we get heard of Jersey, it's this really nice island off the coast of Britain. You got to go to a
They've got
home
palm
there.
trees.
You got to go to a care home there. You know, it'd be a new life for you. And you're all excited, and you get there, and you're just being tortured and abused. And then
Sickos, isn't they?
maybe you're dead when they throw you in the furnace. I mean, fuck me.
God.
It's a complete breaking of a spirit as well as a body.
They're literally raped and tortured them to death and then had to get rid of the body.
Yeah. I mean, they've been said to be cared for by either the state or the church.
This is a religious ran home. It's got
The
nuns.
60s were dark, man.
Yeah. Well,
Do you think the 60s were dark because there was a lot of fucked up people after World War II who'd gone 20 years without any
is
counselling or
probably-
psychological care?
Probably
been
a
through
really
this.
good shout.
it's all the lead in the air.
No,
Yeah.
it is the lead in the
Yeah.
air, you're right, that's true enough.
And, crimes were, easier to get away with, weren't they? Really
Yeah.
heinous crimes, to be
Yeah.
honest. Because I always think it's quite romantic, you used to be able to get away with robbing a post office with a shotgun. If you didn't kill anyone, that was quite a good career.
It was a career for a lot of people.
People became really good at it, But now, cameras, DNA, tracing the money.
Yeah, you never hear a good old post office stick up
post
anymore, do
office
you?
stick up, nobody gets hurt. Maybe you cost somebody over the head, just one. Just
Yeah,
to
but then
show
they
you
end up
Put the
having
others in line.
But then, like the great train robbery bloke ends up dying of his injuries. There's always you can't just you can't give people head injuries and expect them to be okay 100% of the
Just a
time.
gentle tap with the butt of the shotgun.
No, maybe to the knee.
To the knee. That's not going to convince anyone. I might as well just shoot the gun.
All right, then what about between the shoulder
You
blades?
blow his kneecaps off.
Well, what would be
You
better?
don't want to be discharging the weapon. That's the issue.
All right.
Well, I think you've just ruined. I was going to say, go in and fire one into the ceiling.
Because it's classed as a more aggressive, violent crime if you fire the weapon, isn't it?
Well, I'm planning on
And
not getting
you haven't
caught.
got many rounds. You're in England. How many
Yeah, it's a
shotgun rounds
shotgun.
you getting?
Yeah, 2 shots.
You might only have 10 rounds in the whole world. Are you going to get some more?
Well, you don't have to have a shotgun. I mean,
No.
crowbar, big enough knife will scare the fuck out of some people.
They've got the counter stuff now, haven't they? It's all.
Yeah, but I'm talking back in the day.
Oh, back in the day,
when it was
yeah.
a career, all you needed was a fast van.
Transit
Yeah.
van.
I remember Little Dawley post office getting done over a few times.
It did. It went through the roof the once.
Balaclava.
They went through the flat roof the once. Just
Yeah.
dropped down, took all the stuff, took all the fags, took all the money, took all the fags. Nothing else.
I love Britain. The great
Sorry.
fag robbery.
Cigarettes. Took all the cigarettes. Just for our American listeners. Yeah, they just got into the flat roof.
Broke into a post office to steal a fag? What?
Cigarettes are fucking expensive, aren't
Well,
they?
yeah, mate, that's the most high value thing in there. They probably calculated that's worth more than a day's takings.
Well, they weren't taking the VHS rental selection for that way.
You had a post office shop combined, didn't we? So
Yeah.
Well, back to the dead kids.
I'm still carrying on with this quote from the report.
Okay.
Because the investigation has seen so many twists and turns, people seem to find it hard to accept children were slaughtered and their deaths were covered up. Most of the dental remains discovered have been identified as children's milk teeth, and we can reveal that among more than 100 bone fragments is a tibia from a child's leg, and what police believe is an intact adenoid bone from the ear of an infant. They were all retrieved with a fingertip search of the 4 cellars in the home's east wing. Forensic teams also found strands of nylon which they concluded came from the head of a broom. Because these brooms were only used in the late 60s and early 70s, the discovery helped officers to put a date on when the bones were swept into the soil floor.
fuck you now.
So you're telling me at this point, we found some strands of nylon. That's got to be from a broom. They're doing proper forensic work.
Yeah.
It's all being identified. This is skull. This is a tibia. These are milk teeth.
Pretty clear cut, isn't it?
Yeah, you'd think.
Mm.
What are we going to get into? Will it discuss what's led them to start the investigation? A whistleblower or?
The noise is getting too loud to ignore from people who were abused.
Oh, so some people got away, they weren't killed.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Officers have spoken to builders who worked on renovations of the home but have been able to discover what happened to the furnace after it was ripped out. But they have taken samples from the chimney breast which was left behind. Around the same time, wooden floorboards were laid over the old soil floor in the east wing. And it is there, within the hidden torture chambers just inches below, that the bones, a pair of shackles and children's clothing were found.
Shackles.
Yeah, man. Fucking dark, innit?
Also, in the underground rooms, police discovered a large concrete bath with traces of blood. A builder has also given evidence that he was asked to dig 2 lime pits in the ground nearby around that period. Lime pits have often been used to destroy corpses.
Well, that's not suspicious.
Yeah.
So he's building, you're building that wall up over there. I just mind digging a couple of lime pits.
Yeah.
What, A4 then?
Look, Pierre, just think about it as a drainage solution.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, man.
I'll start digging.
Yeah, make him sort of think of a plague pit.
Oh, right.
Yeah, go with that. Go with that kind of size.
There's a bit of plague in Jersey.
Just can't be too careful. That's the power the church has. If he's a religious man, and they say he couldn't do us 2 pits, could you, for lime pits? The church needs him to do it. Yeah, no problem. We'll just even fucking think about it.
I was just saying, we might be thinking too much. He might have just literally been like, oh, how much you paying for that? It's going to take me 2 days, X amount, and he might not have even thought it, you know. Guess they got some stuff they want to put in the hole.
So far, 97 people have come forward to complain they were abused as children at Hor de la Garenne. Many have described being drugged, shackled, raped, flogged and held in a dark cellar for long periods.
How can they do this to kids?
They're psychos, that's damaged, aren't they?
You've got to be damaged if you want to be a nun, haven't you?
Regular folk aren't capable of this.
You've got to be... But that's probably an institution of abuse itself, joining the nunnery.
Yeah, I don't know. How do that many psychos end up working at the same place? Maybe they thought it was for God. I don't know. I'm raping you for God. I don't know. I don't know.
These are questions you need to ask the church when you go.
Because, I mean, this can't just be one dodgy member of staff, can it?
No, this is institutionalised abuse, isn't it?
You
This
know
is
what I mean?
passed down from generations.
It's been going on for centuries, I think. The elites in it.
Yeah.
People in control, they're getting
Yeah.
positions of power and...
People were just as perverted in the 60s as they are now. Fucking nonsense.
That's right. That's right, and especially these guys in Jersey, especially, fucking hell, they've got complete control. They're not even elected.
Yeah.
It's basically just an oligarchy.
On their little island.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And they watch each other's backs, don't they? And cover each other's crimes up.
Much of the clothing found at the scene is thought to date back to the 1960s and 1970s, when youngsters had to make their own clothes and shoes in the care home workshop.
No.
Fucking Catholics. Apologies, listen, if you are Catholics, you know, you're hard pressed to explain this one away, though, aren't you? Cops now believe that whoever was responsible for removing the furnace knew that there were children's remains inside.
No shit.
And they think it was moved while disgraced headmaster Colin Tilbrook was in charge of the place. Tilbrook, now dead, has been described by former charges as being behind some of the most horrific abuse at the home. Tilbrook, who ran the home in the 1960s, died aged 62 in 1988 after suffering a heart attack. His foster daughter, Tina Blee, recently made an emotional visit to the orphanage to meet abuse victims and bravely told how she was raped by the monster every week as a child after he took her in following his departure from Jersey. She said, I needed to come here to say sorry for what he's done. If children were killed here, I'm convinced he played a big part in it. He was more than capable of murder, end quote. The week police began a forensic examination inside a nearby World War II German bunker, which victims say was used as a base for abusing children. 6 witnesses say they were sexually assaulted by staff at the squat brick building, which houses a network of underground rooms and passages. Oh.
Because, Jersey was captured by the Nazis, wasn't it, in World War II? And ironically, the abuse stopped for that period.
They weren't fans of the Catholic Church, really, the Nazis, were they? Didn't like the church, so I'd imagine the priests and that were...
Can you believe that? I mean, things are that shit that the Nazis come in, things are better off for you.
For the kids in the home, I think the rest of the people on the
island... Well, I know, that's what I mean, that's how bad it was.
They weren't putting them in a camp. It's just a police state, isn't it? It's not nice. But at least it was better for the kids.
Yeah.
Well, as long as they weren't Jewish.
Well, there is that. Birmingham City Council, however, has presented the Jersey force with a list of children who were sent to their home but went missing. If you knew they'd gone missing, why didn't you fucking tell the police?
No,
How
These
do you
kids
track
are-
them down? That's the
If
trouble,
these
innit?
kids have fallen off the radar,
They run away from care homes all the time and end up on the streets, don't they?
and you probably didn't expect them to be shackled, raped,
No.
flogged, and chucked in a fucking furnace.
yeah. But so, you're not expecting this. No one's expecting this. It's a care home. It's run by nuns.
Does anybody know what happened to those kids? We sent like 30 of them to Jersey.
Why did no one ask the
Does
question?
anybody... Excuse me, Jersey police. I know it's 50 years later.
But you haven't got these people still living on your island, have you?
What the fuck?
You would have to know what.
It seems to be a little bit of a mishap here because we haven't actually checked up on them in the last 50 years.
Yeah.
Any of them still alive? They fucking what?
Fuck.
Fucking hell, Steve, we fucked up here, mate. Fucking hell.
But like you say, how can you ever
No, you don't know that.
predict that?
Fuck me.
Well, no, because it's not supposed to happen, is
No.
it? You know, you send. Oh, we've got some really deprived inner city kids in a shitty orphanage in Birmingham. Let's send them to Jersey.
Yeah.
Give them a new life.
That'd be well better for them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give them a new
Shouldn't
life.
be.
Give them a new
The
start.
slums of, I mean, Birmingham around in the 60s was still incredibly industrial,
Yeah.
much more than it is today. You
Still
know,
probably rebuilding
grimy and-
after the war.
very, very, you know.
It's still not fantastic now.
No, no.
Imagine what it was like in the 60s.
I was thinking this the other day because Tenacious D were on tour and Jack Black, they were playing in Birmingham. He was saying on stage, "What's in the water here, man?" Like, and he's listing all the bands that have come from Birmingham. He's like, "This is like rock and roll, like Mecca. This is like ground zero for rock." And I know because I seen his Twitter. He'd been out and about in the city in the day. I said, he must be so fucking disappointed. But anyway, so yeah, sent from grimy, horrible 60s Birmingham to, you know, the island with the palm tree, literal palm trees, you
Yep.
know, it's sunny. And I bet this Mr. Tilwell, what was his name? Tilbrook. Like most psychopaths, I bet he talked a right good game on the phone.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, yes, Birmingham orphanage. Oh, of course, yes, we'll take those children. They'll have a rehabilitation. The island, the sea air,
Yeah.
you know. Oh, of course we'll look after them. Oh, he's good, he is. He always takes the kids when we
Run
leave.
by. I wonder. No one thought he has a lot of fucking
Yeah,
vacancies.
and he's had another 10 kids.
It's run by nuns as well. You should be able to trust.
But you see, that's the problem with all this God worshipping, is they might have not wanted to be part of this, but been too scared to say anything because of some weird, like, twisted devotion to, like, you know, he's the man in charge. He's a man of God.
I know, but they're the biggest psychopaths half the time.
Well,
Earlier this year, we also uncovered allegations that pictures of babies being raped were taken in the care home and circulated by an international child porn ring.
Babies.
Experts suspect the home was responsible for many of the CD network's 9,000 sick pictures delivered discovered in an infamous hall in Holland in the 90s. Oh, Jesus. Just gets worse.
thanks for picking this one, mate.
Yeah, man. I've really enjoyed looking into this one. That's sarcasm.
We
by
like
the
to
way.
tackle the
Where was
difficult
fucking...
subjects.
What
Where was God?
Yeah, well, not God, never mind him. Who was that detective, that show based in Jersey and Guernsey? Bergerac! Where the fuck was Bergerac?
Where was Bergerac?
Oh, don't tell me he was a non. Don't.
Well,
Not
he's of the
John
right
Knowles.
generation, isn't he?
Didn't he have a little speedboat?
Yeah, he had something, didn't
Yeah.
he? Bergerac.
It was alright, Bergerac.
It was not a patch on Lovejoy.
Oh, that was a weird show, though. I'm going to get into that, though. Off air, guys.
Yeah, sorry.
We'll talk about Lovejoy. The joys of Ian McLennan's Lovejoy after.
This is not the time for Lovejoy talk.
No, but he'd have solved this.
He would.
So, Police said their latest intensive probe at the orphanage has produced more than 40 suspects. 3 men have already been charged with sex abuse offences as part of the inquiry, but now, despite the wealth of shocking detail uncovered by officers, there are fears the full truth of the House of Hell could be covered up yet again after the investigation boss, Jersey's tough number 2 top cop Lenny Harper, retires next month.
Well, can't somebody else just carry on?
Well, they did. And somebody who was perhaps less impartial than Lenny Harper. That's the problem. He got a lot of abuse for this, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, Jersey's number 2 top cop.
Just trying to do his job.
I think the thing is as well is that he was an outsider, wasn't he? Because he's and he wanted to, push for this and get it exposed and the people arrested.
As you would want.
And the cop would because he's not local, so he's retiring. He's being forced to retire.
Right.
Because he's not old enough to retire.
Is this just too much headache for the police?
The new guy that comes in, he's going to be one of the family members, isn't he? The guys who run the place. He's not going to kick up a fuss about this, is he?
What's the conspiracy? Is it that the police, do you think it's too much hassle for them? It's too much of a nightmare, this case? Or is it because there are people in the police still connected to people that were involved? 40 odd suspects, did it say? 40 odd employees. 40 odd rapey fucking weirdos.
Yep.
I don't know.
That might be in the police, might be in the judiciary, might be in the government.
It's a small fucking island.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're putting all pressure on the police, saying, this looks bad for Jersey, don't do it. Yeah.
We don't want people to know about the House of
it's
Hell.
the Queen's Island as well, so it looks bad on the Queen.
Yeah.
Oh, don't drag her into it, Mike.
She's killed enough children. She doesn't.
Shut up! How dare you?
Well, there's a lot of
That's what St. Dyke says.
There's a lot of allegations in Canada.
She didn't rape anybody.
We don't know.
We do.
We don't know for sure, do you? You don't know for sure.
Look at her.
What was it Ike said? Her and the Queen Mom were...
He's also said, Mike, that the moon isn't really the moon. It's a fucking space station that beams down messages directly to our brains.
Well, I know that.
He's walked that back a bit now, but...
Yes, that's why he usually has a tin foil on his head, isn't it?
I will not have Her Majesty's name raked through the coals. She had nothing to do with this. Her fucking son might have, but I'm sure if we look into it, Andrew made a few visits. When did it close down?
Oh, that's a good question, actually.
Was it the 80s?
Yeah, it was.
How old was he? He was a grown man in the 80s. I bet
He was in the Navy at the time, wasn't he?
Well, it's a fucking island in the sea.
I
Would you mind ever so much if we take a detour to my mother's island?
Well, he was a helicopter pilot. He could just float.
There you go, yeah.
No smoke without fire, as they say in the British
There you
justice
go,
system.
Andrew. Oh, the House of Hell. We'll visit some kids.
How Holt de la Gueren's abused former residents have repeatedly claimed that what happened was deliberately hushed up to avoid tarnishing Jersey's reputation as a family-friendly tourist haven and to give politicians in London no excuse to try and exercise more control of the island. Although Jersey is part of the British Isles and under the Queen's rule, it has a separate government and makes its own laws. It has a 53-member parliament, there's no political parties, and its politicians, judges, policemen and business leaders come from a small elite, often linked by friendship or family. It's like the fucking Masons have taken over a country.
Yeah. Mate, it's so... When I flew in, I didn't know anything about it before I went, really, you know. And as I flew over, it's like, fucking hell. Every single house, it seemed, had a swimming pool. I was like, where the fuck am I going? Like, it looked like you're flying over Beverly Hills, honestly.
Wow.
Like, it... And the house where I stayed, they were nice, down-to-earth people, but it's like, fucking hell. Like, it's just, like, everyone's loaded there, man. Like,
Wow.
so...
There are normal people there as well.
Yeah. It's not like everything's a mansion,
No.
but there's no shitholes.
Yeah.
There's no housing that, like, count. I didn't see that, I don't think. Not that I saw the whole island, but...
You didn't?
Well, you know, so there's a lot of money there. I wonder how they would feel if, like, someone like us just rocked up and bought a house. Like, I bet they'd be very, like, lots of...
Yeah.
You know...
They thrashing around the garden in quad bikes just to wind them up.
Be like straw dogs.
Yeah, so it's obviously very insular, and you can imagine all these people for years have been like, my son, you know, Well, it literally says it there. They're all
Yeah.
fucking, all the police, all the fucking, their little tiny government they've got there.
They're all mates or related.
Yeah. Fucking strict as well. You know, one of the things when I was questioned when I flew in, do you have any pornography? What? Do you have any pornography? No. Why are you asking that? He's like, you
always carry a couple of porn mags on the plane with me.
You're not allowed to bring pornography onto the
I
island.
was joining the Mile High Club on my own.
Okay. We haven't got to worry about that.
You can't ask that question anymore, though, can they? Because it's on your phone now.
I was pulled to one. It wasn't that long ago, to be fair, that I went. But I was pulled to one side, probably because I was on drugs, and I looked like I was on drugs. Because I'd been told how strict it was, I decided to take all my drugs in Birmingham Airport. So I was pilled off my fucking bananas. The guy pulls me into the little room, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And he puts the gloves on, and at the end of it, everything's fine, I had nothing. And I made a joke, I was like, I'm just glad them gloves weren't for what I thought they were for. And he goes, everyone says that. And I was like, it's probably the way you did the whole cinematic tink.
That's what I was about to ask you see.
Stretching the grass, oh, here we go, right up
As soon as the rubber gloves come on, you think that's, yes.
But no, even their equipment shit though, because he was waving this wand over my bag, and I was like, what's that for? And he said it'll pick up trace elements of drugs, and I was like, Thing is, I said, I'm telling you right now, I have nothing on me, you won't find anything, but I do smoke a fuckload of marijuana in the same room as that bag. He's like, oh, right, okay, well, cheers for telling me. But he didn't pick up fuck all. So next time I go, I'm taking heroin.
It's going all up my arse.
Liquid morphine.
They don't check.
Yeah. But weird, yeah, so it's quite a strict little insular place. No porno. You're not going to take no porno mags on that island, Ben. They won't have it.
Just look on my phone.
Well, yeah, isn't it?
But can you imagine living there not having any choice over who represents you and makes the laws?
It's a
And
dictatorship.
Yeah, very
well,
strange.
it's oligarchy, isn't it?
No.
A bit like America.
But then they're distracted by how beautiful everything.
He said the thing.
Everything's beautiful. They'll just be like, oh, I'm going to look at that palm tree. It's nice here, isn't it? Yeah. We're all rich, aren't we? Yeah. Doesn't really matter who's in charge, does it? No.
Half the time, I think it's an holiday home for him and all, isn't it?
Yeah. But maybe we should go. We should do a trip. We'll go find. Is it still standing, the House of Hell?
It is still
so,
standing,
Oh God! How'd you fancy camping?
No thanks. No, I'm good. I'm good. You can if you like.
Just taking holiday snaps, we're all smiling where the,
In the furnace.
where the furnace was. This is where hundreds of kids were abused and burned.
Oh look, a shackle!
Ooh, teeth.
Oh, sorry. We've got listener. It's too dark not to laugh about. Oh God.
Oh man.
So is what you're saying to me then? I'm getting the gist. In the time then, because this is the reporting from 2008. So when you read to me the new reporting, is it going to be denying all this? And
Story's changed a bit. Let's put it that way.
Motherfuckers! I was thinking this is quite
horrific,
honest and on the nose. I was thinking, I was thinking it got more honest, and I'm realising what the conspiracy is here.
Yes. So now we'll read you the article from 2017 as reported by The Guardian, and let's look at the changes.
Well, there should be loads more information and names.
There should be, because
they've had years to investigate.
Yeah. The building at the time, a youth hostel, was dubbed the House of Horror, as scores of bone fragments were unearthed and lurid reports surfaced that shackles, restraints, punishment rooms and a bath stained with blood had been found. The fear was that children, perhaps many, had been tortured and killed and their remains concealed. To some degree, it was a false alarm.
Oh, it's alright now.
Towards the end of the year, police said they did not believe any murders had taken place at Hort de la Garenne, and of the 170 bone fragments found, analysis showed that only 3 could be human, and they probably dated back centuries.
What do you mean probably? We can precisely date things. When were they from? They could have been hundreds of years ago. What does the test say, you dickhead? Could be hundreds of years.
I've seen a picture, of there's meant to be a bone fragment of a child's skull. It looks like bone, before it's sent off for analysis, and then when it comes back, they said, oh, it's not child bone, it's coconut shell. It's been there for years and dried out. And I've looked at the two pictures. They're not the same fucking item. Someone's fucking switched that.
Wouldn't coconut shell in the earth
just
degrade? Cause it's
I'm
bio...
no expert, but yeah,
I think so. It's plant, isn't it? You know,
but it's not as if like there's a sea of fucking coconut shells everywhere you go, is there? Like they
No.
obviously.
You know, they changed the copper who was leading the investigation. Of course, the original one, he's still saying, he's sticking to his guns and saying this is what he found.
Yeah.
Interesting that, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the official report now is it's just false alarm.
Nah, nothing to see here.
Well, the worst of it is a false alarm. Well, it's all bad.
Yeah.
But the very worst.
They can't cover up the sexual abuse.
No. Codenamed Operation Rectangle, the investigation did unearth a terrible scandal. It brought a light to a catalogue of abuse, sexual, physical and psychological, at Hort de la Garenne and other Jersey's children's homes, stretching back to the end of the Second World War. 8 people have been prosecuted for 145 offences, and 7 men and women have been convicted.
Not 40 though, is it?
Not 40. Many more alleged offenders, some now dead, have been identified. How convenient that they're dead. And they've been identified by almost 200 former residents. Police have recorded more than 500 alleged offences.
That's from the ones that are still alive, or the ones that want to talk and speak about it. Probably some that don't. Probably a lot of them don't.
In 2010, Jersey's Chief Minister, Senator Terry Le Sueur,
I think Letitia.
Yeah, offered an unreserved...
Yeah.
Terry Lasso. Terry Lasso. Offered an unreserved apology to those who have been abused, and an independent inquiry announced. It sat for 138 days and heard from 650 witnesses, including scores of former residents of the home. Men and women described how they had been abused by staff members and sometimes passed on to other sex offenders. Enter Jimmy Savile.
Oh, God.
Just when you think it couldn't get any worse. The serial abuser, Jimmy Savile, was among those accused of attacks at Hort de la Garenne and at a home on the island run by French Catholic nuns, the Sacré-Cœur Orphanage. Wilfrid Krzyzewski, a Jersey senator and TV executive now dead, was also named as an alleged abuser. Physical and psychological abuse ranged from having mouths washed out with carbolic soap to being beaten with stinging nettles. The inquiry heard some of the abuse was carried out by older children with the blessing of the staff.
Oh, God.
One man said senior boys used a generator to administer electric shocks to younger children and throw darts at them.
Oh, God.
A girl is said to have been punished by having to spend a night in a room with the body of a dead nun. But as bad as this is, and this is still really bad, it's not burning children dead or alive in a furnace, is it?
Yeah.
And it does suggest that there may have been a slight cover-up.
Yes. Because it still doesn't explain, like, the people from Birmingham, like, where are all them kids we sent you?
Are they still on Jersey? Because they'd know that, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and you'd know what happened to them when you released them. They're not going to stay there
Well, I'll
forever.
just say they ran away and we never saw them again.
Yes, believe even on the mainland, if they'd have crossed back to the mainland, then there's got to be some risk. It's very
more likely
hard.
to go to France, aren't they?
Well, it's still very hard just to disappear completely with it. Because if you're Ernie, you've got to pay tax.
They just live on the
Well, they're
streets,
kids,
man.
though, as well, remember. They've got...
Street urchins.
Let's assume that they all didn't go on the streets. Some of them must have showed up.
The thing is, that Jersey's so small, like, there's no way there's, like, 30-odd kids, like, just on the streets of Jersey. Or, like, you know...
Well, there's an extra 30 homeless people all of a sudden.
Do you know what I mean? Plus, there'd be records, did they get the ferry? They must have got the ferry.
Yeah.
Or flown, but probably the ferry. But
Have they made a benefit claim? Have they tried to get housing?
Yeah.
You know, all this is logged. If it's on the mainland, it's better logged. If it's on Jersey, then it's a long way away.
You're right, all of them, yeah. I mean, some of them could have just disappeared and lived on the streets and died.
Yeah, it's a possibility, but you'd have thought they'd have tried to register some kind of claim for something.
Are you a kid?
Just
No,
thinking,
these are when they get out of the home, they're 18, so...
Oh, what about people run away? Kids run away, don't they, all the time? These places.
They do.
I would if that's fucking happened to me or people I knew in the place.
Well, this is quite interesting. The inquiry heard about what has been dubbed, quote, the Jersey Way. Some take pride in the concept, seeing it as the maintenance of proud and ancient traditions. Others regard it as a negative aspect of island life.
Involving the protection of the powerful.
It really
A
is.
deep-rooted resistance to change.
Really is just like the Freemasons, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
They've got it fucking sweet, haven't they?
Yeah.
They're never getting elected out of office.
Yeah.
They've got all the power to cover up all the crimes they want to do.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I saw something cool speaking of the Freemasons. My friend sells antiques. It's from somebody's private collection. Somebody in Telford's died, an old bloke. There is fucking certificates of like his being welcomed into the
Wow.
brotherhood. But man, it's all in this exactly as you'd imagine, with all the different logos and like
All seeing
know,
guy in a pyramid kind of
yeah,
shit.
well, and it's like, and the handwriting is that proper penmanship, and like, it's like wow, they proper chuff themselves off these people.
But it's just a drinking club, isn't it, basically?
Well, yeah, but obviously, but back to Jersey. That's very interesting, isn't it? The Jersey Way.
Yeah.
So it's like this fucking club. I bet they've got the certificates and the secret handshake and this is our little island.
Yeah.
Outsiders don't come in.
And if they do, they fuck off.
If they do, we make it very clear they're not welcome. You're born here or you...
This is the way we're going to run the island. There's no change, no election.
No. And when I retire, my son will take over.
Yeah.
And his son after him.
And apparently there was a saying, never to do today what you can put off for 10 years.
Wow. They don't want anglicisation. They don't want to be ruled by...
Yeah, that's an interesting line there. Look, a disproportionate amount of power was concentrated in the hands of a few whose ancestors had lived on the island for centuries and who were keen to resist anglicisation. So it's literally what we say to... And the whole island is an old boys club.
Yep.
Yeah.
Being run by a few, and so yeah, they don't want this out there. Oh yeah, we lost a few hundred kids down
in their closets.
Yeah, we lost a few hundred kids down the fucking. Fucking.
The 7 or 8 that were convicted, they're probably low-lying, hanging fruit. Just let them
Easy
take the
ones,
blame and
easy ones,
they're
aren't
not-
they?
Yeah.
Let them take the fall.
So the language is very different, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they say, how can you mistake a trained forensics officer at the scene? Come on, that's who you in school, that is. That's bits of a tibia. That wasn't mentioned anymore. Where's the teeth gone?
Is this retired copper still keeping up?
Yes,
Yeah,
the
I've seen
performer number
videos of
2
him.
is still like very much like it's a lot worse.
Keeping
than
the
what they're
pressure on,
saying.
is he? Surprised nobody's chucked him in the sea.
Well, there's a guy that does a blog about it. They managed to shut him down, didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck's sake.
I know. Basically hounded him and...
Was he a resident of
Yeah.
Jersey?
Yeah.
Right, they'd have hounded him off the island. You don't upset the old boys club.
Of course not. It is, as you say, it's like there's a secret society running the fucking island. Just reporting to the Queen now and again and making sure the tax is paid.
The same few families.
Yep.
Fucking hell.
Sick in it.
Yeah.
Poor kids, man.
That's disgusting. It shouldn't be. How can it happen? By people that are supposed to be the good guys. That's the worst of it. You're in care. You're a carer. You're a nurse. You're a nun. You're supposed to be a fucking good person.
Yep. We know, don't we? Historically, I'd say they seem respectable, law-abiding, and
I
they
just
get in
don't
there.
understand as well that like powerful people that want to rape kids. If I was powerful, I'd just want like adult hookers. Do you know what I mean? Like willing participants with a bit of expertise. You know, I don't get why it's straight for the. So it's got to be demonic, hasn't it?
Either that or they've been abused themselves. I think is a lot of it in it.
This Jersey way speaks of like, speaks as like something that this is institutionalised. You know, very much so, and it has been for centuries. This is what they've been. This is how you bring the kids up. This is how this is what happens. This makes you tougher. Look at us. We've been here for thousands of years.
What is stopping, right, the Birmingham police, I mean, I know what's stopping them, it's the law, but why don't they just load up like 200 officers, SWAT level, you know, all the gear, armed police as well. Let's just storm the fucking island,
Right.
right? Slap the fuck out of these families. Zip tied, face down, you know, the fucking business.
Right.
Bags on heads. Bring them back to proper England,
Yeah.
right?
Blighty.
The proper island, the big island. Not the little Jerseys like and Guernsey and that. They're like the little like, what do you call when you get bits of poo stuck in your arse there? What do they call them? Dingleberries. The little dingleberries off the bottom of England. Bring these fuckers back and make them face our justice in an actual courtroom.
Yeah.
I like it, but the flaw in your plan is you are launching a seaboard assault against British citizens using the police.
Criminals?
Yeah.
Edgy criminals?
Fuck them.
With
They've got enough evidence.
if the evidence is there,
Yeah.
you're going to be sending armed police to the streets of Jersey to take these blokes in their beds,
What
bags
the
on their
Jersey
heads.
police gonna do? What the local police gonna do? We've only got 3 cars between us.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably very unconstitutional, launching an
is-
invasion of another country. Invading yourself, effectively.
Well, that's why that's the loophole, isn't it?
You know what? I guess it is.
Trouble is, the official report's been whitewashed now, isn't it?
But they'd shit a brick, wouldn't they? Imagine seeing all them
Yeah.
boats landing. Like, what's this? What's the
Why don't you
fucking...
just go the whole log and get the fucking SAS involved?
Well, now you're talking. Mate, I don't want to necessarily murder them all. I want them to...
They
you
can
know-
do it without killing people.
Oh, okay. Take prisoners. Very skillful. Well, we're probably never going to get justice, let's be honest.
No.
Unless there's some young people in Jersey that are like, you know, we can't let this go. We've got to fucking...
But it looks bad on you all, doesn't it? It looks bad on the family. Because if you say you're a young, idealistic chap,
Yeah.
your dad's the boss, he passes away, you get the job, and you're like, right, what do? You could unveil it all and say, yes, it was the house of hell. Or you can protect your family's fucking reputation and keep that steady income flowing. What are you going to do? It's all very well being idealistic, but you lose everything. You've lost everything.
It'll probably come out when these people are dead.
Yeah.
When
Well,
every
that's what it
last
is.
one of them's fucking dead.
If we sit on this for 10 years,
there
they'll
you
be
go.
dead.
That's saying, fuckers.
And then we release it and go, oh, well, we had no idea.
Well, his own foster daughter said she believed he's capable of murder. He fucking raped her every week, so...
Yeah.
How do people like that even get into that profession?
I think they get in the profession, then they start
Make connections,
exercising.
don't they? Yeah.
Well, you're exposed to vulnerable.
Look, if you're the headmaster, you're a pedo. The chief police is a pedo. You know, one of the judges is a pedo. You all get together, didn't you? And so look, you know.
That sounded like that Scottish Prime Minister's speech.
Oh.
Head of the police, pedo.
Yeah.
Remember when he did his famous white speech? Did you ever hear it?
No.
Oh God, everyone mocks it now. Like, he did a fucking speech. Right? Bear in mind he's in Scotland, 99% white population, literally. And he was like, the head of the justice system, white. The head of the courts, white. The head of the thingy, white. And he just listed about 20 different positions. White. Everyone's white, basically saying there's too many white people in power. To a load of white people. So when his hate speech law came in, who do you think got the most complaints? Thousands upon thousands of people complained about him.
Has that been overturned now?
No, he's resigned.
I know he's resigned, but I'm up the laws.
Oh yeah, they had to walk his law back so they couldn't. Because otherwise, they're like, mate, like 5,000 people have complained about your speech.
Oh, what a cunt.
Yeah, so anyway, it just sounded like that, but replaced the word white with pedo, and the speech probably does work.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
At that point, you're just taken and thrown off a cliff if you say that in Jersey. Yeah. Oh, we found his body at the foot of the cliff. It looks like he jumped.
Yeah.
Best thing to come out of Guernsey was Matthew Le Tissier. Tell you what, lads.
He was a
What a
player.
guy.
He was fucking... He was... Do you know what? I was reading an interview with... This is related, it's Guernsey.
Jersey with...
Well, I think he's from
Matt
Guernsey.
Graham Lasso was from Jersey, I'm
Ah.
sure he was.
Yeah, I
but
think
he's
Matt
a bit
is
of a
from Guernsey. But
Posh boy, wasn't he? But
You
yeah,
leave
so...
Lasso alone, he's one of the best right left backs Premiership's ever seen.
Oh, Lasso. Yeah, Phil Parkinson, manager of Wrexham, when he was a player, they said, who's the best player you've ever seen first hand? He said, fucking Bafetissier was on another level. He said, if he hadn't been, he's a bit lazy to be honest. He said, if he'd have been more motivated and joined like Man United or somebody, you'd be saying his name alongside, you know,
The greats.
God, he was fucking good.
Oh.
Weren't he? It was because he had fuck all to do on that island, but his skills, he was just been doing kick-ups all day.
Was a bit fat, wasn't he?
A bit, you know.
Towards the end, yeah.
And now he's like a bit of an alt-right conspiracy theorist. He's one of us.
We're not an alt-right conspiracy theory show, though, are we?
No.
You might be.
You know, he's willing to ask the hard questions, Ben.
Yeah.
Does it involve Muslims? Does it
No,
always
no,
involve
Not
Muslims?
necessarily, no. You know, I don't think he's a fan of the vaccine.
Oh, right, he's one of them ones as well.
Yeah, you know.
He's got a point, not with some of the stuff he says, because he says that, you know, we're turning into a police state, we can't have freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't got the right to demonstrate back after the pandemic, have we?
No. Well, that was
Still-
a happy episode.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Should have been a Christmas episode, really. Yeah?
I think we still managed to find some humour. Oh, God.
Yes. Just as a final serious note, it's a fucking tragedy, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, how was it allowed to happen? How was it? These are meant to be good people.
Well, it's the Jersey way, isn't it? That's why it was allowed to happen. Insular little.
I don't think it's just Jersey, mate. I think
Well, these institutions, yeah, it has
Yeah.
happened other places, hasn't it?
for every one that we know about, maybe there's 100 that we don't know about.
Yeah. I reckon every orphanage ever around that period, there was, you know,
Yeah.
abuse happening. Not necessarily sexual or murder, but
Well, they
definitely
weren't nice
mistreatment.
places,
No,
were they?
they're not going to be a nice place that people look back on fondly.
No, I fully agree.
Especially not the Hell House.
Not the Hell House, no. Mike?
Yeah, shocking, man. You know, just feel for the kids that were abused and possibly murdered, and it's been horrific for them. You know, rest in peace, I guess. And
Yeah.
I just wish that there would have been some justice.
Yeah.
It seems like we aren't getting it yet.
May Bergerac save us all.
Oh, he's dead.
Well, they...
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, John Dell's been dead a while. May the ghost of Bergerac.
No, I'd watch that. The ghost of Bergerac hunting down old crusty pedos on Jersey.
Fuck yeah. It's the fact that Savile rocked up, so it must have been... So think about it. Just one
Yeah.
horrifying final thought. This was so well known amongst the paedophile community of Britain that Savile took a fucking motorhome down there and abused kids on it. So so think about that. Think of the connections that have to be there to get a care home in Jersey to English Star. He's a star at the fucking time.
To be fair, I wouldn't
Jimmy
put it past.
Savile.
I wouldn't put it past Savile opening up the yellow pages, going to orphanages, and just ringing all of them. Now then, do you need a bit of fundraising? He's a man who would have. Do you know what I mean? I know what you're saying, but I think I wouldn't put it past him just ringing up, because he'd get away with it wherever he went.
Hobo nonce.
The thing I don't get, I'm not blaming the victims, but I don't give a fuck how famous he was. If that cunt ever asked me when I was a kid to go anywhere, fuck off.
Yeah.
If you could fuck right off.
Yeah.
You scream fucking weirdo to me.
Yeah. We
You
never
want
used
the
to watch
I
people-
was
it.
never a
you
fan
wouldn't
of
have
it.
been one of the people that he would have targeted.
Fuck that.
The sexual predators, they know who to target.
Yeah, he wouldn't have gone for me.
No.
Well, that's it, innit? It's just... yeah, we never used to watch him. My mum and dad thought he was creepy.
We used to have a one-eyed Peter that used to live in the woods.
No, we didn't.
We did.
We did.
Why did he
Isn't
live
it?
in the woods?
He just used to live in the woods, I don't know.
He
He was
that's-
a one-eyed Peter.
He wasn't a one-eyed Peter.
He
in the
was.
woods.
Look, Ben,
So-
you seem defensive. Is this like your uncle or something?
No, it was something that someone made up.
No, it wasn't. I've seen him. I've seen him on multiple occasions. He was a one-eyed Peter that lived in the
What
woods.
Mike show us on the doll where he touched you?
I've seen it from afar.
Oh, it's like it's a false memory you've created.
No, I remember him. I picture his face in my head and his penis.
His penis in your head?
I can picture his penis. It's all coming flooding back. No.
But if it's a distance, so you see his face, how far are we talking?
I don't know, about 100 yards, something like that.
What, did he have a name, this one-eyed pedo?
He did, didn't he? What was his name?
We don't remember this.
Ben's
I thought it was a myth.
No. I don't know if he was a pedo, but he was. He
Oh,
was
hang on.
An innocent homeless man.
There was a bloke who lived up the woods for a
Yeah,
bit,
and he had one eye.
but
And my parents told me that he was a one-eyed pedo. Maybe they just told me that to
so you
stay
didn't
away
make,
from
yeah,
him.
well, probably, yeah. I can see that coming together.
But
You used to get the odd flasher up there. It's like someone walking the dogs on a summer evening and get flashed kind of thing. I remember that happening a couple of times.
I won't say a name on the pod, but a girl at school got flashed on the way home, and apparently the bloke said, it's always stuck with me. He flashed his cock out and he goes, touch it and it grows.
Oh my god.
You know.
The 90s, man.
Well, that has been a slightly depressing episode.
An episode of darkness.
We'll do some cool stuff next week.
Maybe.
I promise, we'll do some cool stuff next week.
Look,
Isn't
it's a
it my
conspiracy. It's been, we have to go through these things.
Yeah.
And again, we do have to delve into the darkness. And
It's not been fun to research, though. In all fairness.
you don't be doing this every week, do you? You know what I mean?
No, I don't. You know what, weirdly, though, I usually try and find a podcast on it. Very difficult on Apple Podcast to find something on this. I copied and pasted the name of the home into the search bar. Nothing came up. I tried Jersey in there as well. The only thing was the Jersey Beast, who was, I think he was a serial rapist on Jersey.
Oh, gosh.
That's it. It was really difficult to find a podcast on this.
They probably whitewashed you.
So, yeah, on that note, don't drink the fake break, don't drink the call. Thanks for listening.
Alright, Mike, thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force be with you.
I've been Gaz, free Biff Tannen. Bye.